Hello and welcome to the Classically Urban
9/11 was a hoax.
Bush did 9/11. Hello and welcome to the Classically Urban Podcast. My name is OG Philology, and joining me
9/11 is a hoax.
Hello, welcome to the Classically Urban Podcast. My name is OG Philology, and joining me this week is...
7-Eleven was a part-time job.
Hello, welcome to the Classically... Hello,
Keep
and
doing this so you could cut it out, huh?
yeah. Hello and welcome to the Classically Urban Podcast. My name is OG.
Fuck.
You're a horrible person.
Hello and welcome to the Classically Urban Podcast. My name is OG Philology, and joining me this week are...
Your mama's favorite side hoe. The Legacy.
My name is George.
It's Baby Ice Cube. You want to go?
And 9/11 was a hoax.
As George just said, 7-Eleven is also a part-time job.
I don't understand that. What is that from?
Just the meme.
Who works full-time at a gas station?
It's just the meme. You know how like 9/11 was an inside job, but slowly just turned
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 7-Eleven was a part-time job.
That's fried.
Funny as fuck.
So Cody, tell us about your Law and Order story that you have.
Dun dun.
Don't do that.
Oh, dang. Okay. So I was watching Law and Order SVU. It is now on Hulu.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into this,
Special Victims Unit.
do those episodes sometimes make you hella uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
just-
especially this episode
Oh.
because it kind of pertains to our age group.
Yeah.
Oh,
As Joey Diaz once said, if you watch enough Law and Order, you think you're on trial for rape.
Yeah, so SVU, obviously, they deal with a lot of rape cases,
but shout out to
Especially heinous crimes, as they say in the show.
heinous crimes.
Heinous.
what's the what's
They're both the same, so...
Yeah.
what's the lady cop's name in the show? Olivia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Olivia.
I don't remember. But
She's the real MVP.
the episode was this girl, and she needed money for college, so she turned to porn naturally.
Yeah.
And she does the porn thing, and she's still attending college, whatever. And these two boys, they're roommates, and one of them sees the video, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And that so and so, and his roommate's like, "Oh yeah, old girl from one class. She's really quiet and kind of nice." They see the video, and the video kind of is like, it's like an aggressive type of porn, and it's two guys.
It's rough.
Right. And so they invite her to their party that they're hosting that night.
Oh my god. Listen,
And they take her to the bathroom, and
Ugh.
they rough her up while they do terrible things to her.
They try and reenact the scene.
Well, so the what's it called? What is when you're like you're older and you're in the dorm and you like look out for like the new
Alright.
kids.
All right.
All right.
Isn't that what
Hannah,
homeboy is?
Yeah, and Nate.
Yeah.
Both of them are. Yeah.
Wait, Hannah is too.
She used to be. Yeah.
So RA calls the cops, whatever. What? I'm giving the whole breakdown, but anyway, I don't know why.
Spoiler.
RA calls the cops. She didn't want to call the cops, you know. That's how rape things go sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. So they start investigating the case. Come to find out, she has done 13 other videos. She didn't tell the cops originally because she's still embarrassed about doing pornography, and she didn't want her parents to find out.
Yeah.
Well, it all comes to light. All of the episode, or all of her porn videos were of, like, rape fantasy. So when it went to trial,
Made it look like she.
well, there was also, they made a video while they were raping her.
Oh.
And so
Ah.
the jury decided the boys were guilty because one of the boys confessed.
Okay.
Because there was like a little loophole. Basically, one of the detectives found out that one of the kids had a lawyer and they were going to share a lawyer. So one of the detectives basically turned one of the kids on the other, made him think that the other kid was signing
Which
something.
they do all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So he, the kid basically confesses in court, like, no, we did this. The judge, I forget exactly what they asked for, but basically the judge overturned the decision by the end of the episode. Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Dun dun.
So, and the whole defense was, you were doing these things in the video. Who's to say this wasn't the same thing?
See, but
I can't.
with how things are like today, that would never actually happen because in today's society, when somebody screams rape, that's
What
like
about
the end of
homeboy
it.
Brock? Or what's his name?
Brock Turner.
Brock Turner, yeah.
They found him Like
Guilty.
someone like stumbled upon him
In the act.
like raping this girl. Wasn't it like next to a dumpster or something?
Wait, who
Classy
is this?
man.
Brock Turner, the little ginger kid that they
Oh, yeah,
let off
that's
the
in the-
case because he's too fragile for prison.
Yeah, that he was in a book. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Too fragile for prison.
I couldn't believe that. But like I thought it was really interesting because she made a good point. She was like, no, those videos she goes by a pseudonym. Many porn stars do,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah.
And she was saying this is my act. Like I am so and so, that's so and so. Like I did not want any of this. And then they were like, oh, what do you need a pseudonym for? And,
Well, there's also a
"What
thing
is?"
that she gets paid for one.
Yeah.
And not
and
for
that
the
was
other.
also the defendant, the lawyer for the defendants. That was his case. He was like, so is it rape because they didn't pay you?
I mean, yes.
That's fucked up.
If
Yeah.
she
but
didn't,
that's
if she
that's
didn't-
what they used against her. Like, oh, all of a sudden it's rape because you didn't get paid, even though you're doing rape fantasy videos. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
That makes
but,
no sense.
Yeah, no.
To me.
But I just found it was really interesting. It was kind of relevant. I just happened to stumble upon that episode. Like, it wasn't any specific season that I clicked on because it's Law and Order.
There's like
you can,
45.
You can watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I just popped onto Hulu and I was like, that one.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's always kind of sketchy when a judge kind of like goes back on cases like cases like that. If it's like a case where it's like, I don't know, that's such a gray area.
Yeah.
It's hard because like in that situation, that judge was wrong and
Yeah.
an idiot.
I just thought it was relevant to everything, all the.
Hashtag me tooing.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting though. Well, there's always there's a
Porn stars can get raped. in
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, yeah.
Just because they're a sex worker does not mean that.
They can't be raped.
Right. That was the whole argument, like, in the episode, and I just thought that was pretty interesting. Like, that some people think, well, she does it all the time. What's the difference?
There's a comedian. His name is Andrew Schultz. Good comedian. He said he was talking about feminism, right? And he said feminism is only for people who are 6s and below. Like if you above a 6, feminism is the wrong thing you want. You don't want to be equal because you're already above them. You know what I'm saying? It's the same idea of like rich and poor. The rich don't want to be equal because then they lose money. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I was
Feminism's interesting now because it's, I don't know. There's a lot of the new feminist movement is, I feel
It's
like,
not actually
yeah,
feminism.
they're really not sure what they're going for.
I think it's been referred to as third wave feminism because it's kind of strayed from the original purposes and such. Well, it seems to have. I don't know.
It's straight from what?
Strayed from the original purposes of feminism.
Straight up.
Well,
I thought you
there's-
said straight. I was like,
Oh.
oh.
Well, yeah, there's still like those true there's true feminisms,
Yeah.
or feminists,
Yeah.
and then there's people who are saying they're feminists and they're like
They're just,
they
their goals
want the
don't always
completely
make
wrong
sense.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's even like so back before women's suffrage, there was feminism, right?
Yeah.
And
And,
then-
that was a goal.
Well, hold on a minute,
Right.
because then black men got the right to vote.
yeah.
Well, there was a point in time when women and black people worked together,
Yeah.
but then a group, the feminist group, split into two different sects essentially. One was like, if black men get the vote, then we all get the vote. Otherwise, we don't all get the vote. And they were trying to tear black men down because they wanted the same vote as they did. And there was a group that said, no, the black men need it first. We're not saying we don't ever get it, but we need to get them through first. And then they met back again around 1920s when it became a constitution for women's rights. So feminism has always been one of those social justice things that have always been like
Kinda like,
constantly
yeah.
splitting and coming back together just because it's the different times.
Just right now, it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that, I don't know, like, I read certain things because, like, I like to dive into I'll dive into, like, extreme rights and extreme lefts, like,
Yep.
articles and stuff just to get the idea of where everybody stands. And some of the shit that stuff they be saying is just, I don't know. Sometimes it makes me nervous to even, like, go out in public.
Why?
I don't know, like, I just feel like if I'm, let's say I'm just, walking, and I see a nice bottom. Am I allowed to look now? Or am I gonna look over and some chick with, you know, a pixie haircut is gonna be like, "Yay, pig!"
But that was gonna happen anyway.
No, like no.
Oh my God, you said a pixie haircut.
Oh, you know, the pixie haircut, and it's probably
Yeah.
dyed crazy colors. No offense, Katie.
See, like, it's okay. So, like we were saying, there's feminism, and then there's whatever the fuck's going on today. And we all know somebody, not going to say names, but hasn't been in this country for a while, constantly sharing shit on Facebook that just doesn't make sense. Like, claims to be feminism, anti-gun.
I don't think we know who you're talking about.
I think I know who you're talking about.
I'm gonna.
Ye old GG.
Oh, bro.
I'm lost.
Facts though.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Facts.
So, yeah, like, the shit she posts on Facebook, like, she's a feminist. She's anti-gun. She's trying to fix what's wrong with this country, and she's not even planning on living in this country because she wants to live in another country. But she claims she's a feminist. And, like, just the shit she says is just downright wrong.
her the person,
Cody's treading so lightly right now.
man, because I don't know if I'll tell you guys about this later, but this person just is not just
Why do we care?
There's
I'm
wacky.
confused as to why we care.
no because
she's loud.
no because I feel like she has her heart in the right direction.
She's just
She
doing it
wants to
wrong.
be a part of something
I'm still confused as to why we're not just saying her name.
because it's inappropriate to name
Yes.
drop people.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
like,
Especially in a situation like
she
this.
knows who we're talking about.
She doesn't
No,
listen
she
to
doesn't
this.
listen.
That's good for
That
her.
we know of. So,
She can
I thought
write
she
us.
did.
I mean, I can ask her to listen to this one.
Comments on comments are below. Say what you have to say.
like, yeah, I agree with you. She has her heart in the
She
right
has her
spot.
heart in the right
She
direction.
just-
She wants to be a part of something that will change the country for the better. She's just she. I feel like she doesn't educate herself enough on a topic to fight for said topic.
Or is it that she doesn't like look at the other side of it?
Right,
She doesn't
educate.
do that
She doesn't.
either.
That's
Well, I mean,
part of it.
there's
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like she knows her side of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know
But her
the
side
other
is only what she allows herself to see.
and it's
Yeah.
the only side that matters.
Right. Well, that's how it all. That's how we get into
This.
situations like
Yeah.
this. Everyone
yeah.
sees one thing and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna share this with my friends," and typically friends share like mind. And
Birds of a feather flock together.
It's like there's a post on Facebook that's been going around about the Parkland shooting, and it's the fact that David Hogg graduated from some high school in California. My brother.
I don't even know if that's real.
No, it's not. My brother made a point though to share that post every time it popped across his like timeline, and after like the 30th time, somebody finally commented and said, "Fake news, quit sharing it."
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that kid when he commented on it. And I was like,
And my brother said, "Finally."
Did you know Facebook
He's
has
sometimes
a feature?
like a low key a troll. Like it's
Low key, his brother's a super troll.
High key troll.
Like he's a troll in person. Like when he talks to you, he's low key shitting on you.
Yeah,
but
I guess that's
he's
true.
still being nice.
Even if he's not, he's just looking at you and making weird noises.
Yeah.
Nick, I've been. Like, all right. Good answer.
Have you seen Facebook now categorizes your political views without you realizing it?
I turned it off.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it's if you go into your settings, it'll tell you like what Facebook thinks you are.
That's so dumb.
Mine's-
That's a waste of money. One,
mine's-
two. That's like
Mine
just
shows up
bad.
as conservative.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
But what's funny about that is it's under the ad section, so all it really is doing is
It's just pushing.
well, it's there to push said agenda. Not agenda, I should say. Facebook, the problem with Facebook, I was actually watching, I don't know if you guys know who Philip DeFranco is.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who Philip DeFranco is, Brandon?
I saw him. I saw his name on the Breakfast Club. I didn't watch it yet though.
He has a Breakfast Club interview?
I think so.
Interesting. He is like a YouTube like icon. Like been around for like 10 plus years, been doing his damn thing.
He's one of the first.
Yeah, he was like one of the he was one of the first channels to get monetized. It was like him and 20 people. Like first channels ever to get monetized by YouTube. So again, he's been around for a while. His channel is he shares news. That's his whole thing.
Never mind. It was Hot Ones. My apologies.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was getting to.
Okay.
He on Hot Ones was talking about the problem with trying to get your news from social media, even if you're just sharing it. The problem with doing that is it's not going to get to everyone because social media is an algorithm-based
Yeah.
software, meaning it's only going to show you what you like because that's what keeps you going back.
Yep.
Whether or not YouTube wants to deny it, because apparently he said one of the big directors of YouTube says that's not how it works. That's not true, because what it's going to do is it's going to learn what videos you're watching, and it's going to post, keep showing you, oh, this video is kind of similar, and it's going to keep you from going away.
It puts you in a bubble, essentially.
Right, and that's how Facebook works. That's why that thing is there, because if it has me as liberal,
It's good,
it's going to share me liberal news.
which is dangerous. It should do the
Which
opposite.
is super, yeah, it's really dangerous.
See, but I feel like within the last 6 months, like it's gonna like completely flip.
Oh, with all the gun control shit that I'm sharing.
you've been
I'm
sharing.
surprised because it hasn't changed. It still says I'm liberal. I'm like,
Apparently, according to it, I'm moderate.
moderate.
Yeah.
I was
I'm
surprised.
ever
I'm
on
not
Facebook,
surprised
so-
that I got liberal because around election time I shared a lot of anti-Trump stuff.
I'm never on Facebook, so I don't really.
And then it
But,
also said that I'm a frequent traveler.
You flew one time, right?
I didn't even share that on Facebook.
Your phone, your GPS picked it up.
Well, did you not post pictures when you went to LA?
Not
Okay.
on Facebook.
So
Oh.
there's
Only
also
on Snapchat.
there's
I
also
didn't
a
know that.
setting on Facebook that you can turn on and off, like your Google searches. It'll show you ads based off your Google searches.
Yeah, that shit freaks me out, bro.
Yeah, it's actually in the settings.
Like
so
sometimes
they're
when I watch porn,
somehow they
I swear to God, bro, it'll come up like it'll be like ads for like
Flashlights. And
something's like I don't know, just like sexually, like, and I'm just like, this is weird.
Hey, Flashlight, if you're listening, sponsors.
Stop.
I mean, I still want a
But,
sex doll.
Stop.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, no,
Can we
you can
sponsor
actually turn that off. So I'm pretty sure like Facebook and Google somehow like teamed up. So
Why
your
not?
GPS on your phone.
There's more
probably
Android
picked up-
users than there are
I know.
iPhone users, so it only makes sense.
Are there
But
seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Think about all the different types of Android phones.
Oh,
and
yeah, I
think
guess
about
you're
all
right,
the
you're
different
right.
types of iPhone. There's not. There's one.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
the big
That
thing
makes
is
sense.
Apple has the majority of the market in the U.S.
Well, it's because
But around the globe,
I feel like
Samsung and Android are.
I feel like the only reason Apple is as big as it is because of iTunes.
No, the only reason Apple is as big as it is because it's huge in America. Because American people are more or less just sheep. In a general sense, if they're not seeking out the information, which, as we just discussed, is a problem amongst everybody. Nobody seeks out said information. So
No.
when Apple makes their commercials, Apple's amazing at marketing.
Oh,
Their
yeah.
marketing team is full of geniuses.
Yeah.
Which is why they show these commercials and it makes this shit look so nice. And so everyone goes out and gets it over and over and over and over and over again. However, in other countries,
It's all the opposite.
complete opposite.
See-
Android is supreme all over the globe.
See, I think it's great though because Android's really, or Samsung and Android have really stepped up like their marketing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because literally their last few ads have literally just been piggybacks off of the Apple commercials, and then it's just Android and Samsung shitting on iPhone.
Yep.
Pretty great. I'm just glad Google started releasing
Pixels.
ads for their Pixels. Because they didn't originally, like, I don't think it started until Pixel 1 because I don't remember there being Nexus ads.
So everyone says that social media is going to be the end of our society as we know it, right? Now that's obviously very
I
exaggerated.
know,
and-
I agree, but I don't at the same time.
But like this is just a further, in my mind, this just proves that point more, because if we start just like recycling the same information over and learn nothing new, our society is just gonna go stagnant.
I mean,
There's
like,
gonna be nothing.
yeah. Take Instagram for example. I'm really mad out of all the social medias that Instagram decided to go with the algorithm route because
Yeah.
that irritates
Yeah.
the shit out of me. Like, just because I liked one picture of a big butt doesn't mean I want my whole feed to be.
Don't lie, you love that.
I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't
want to see something else.
I don't see anything that Phil, you, or George, or Katie, or
Right.
any of my other friends post until like I get past like 50 asses, which is all fine and dandy. But I get on there to see what everyone's doing, not just homegirl with the fake ass.
That's fair. I understand that.
Yeah, that kind of irritated me too. Like the day they made that switch, I'm like, okay, where are all my friends? Like, I want the posts in order. Like it made sense
Yeah,
how it
that-
worked.
That's just weird. It's called the timeline for a reason.
Well, it's like
goddammit.
the new Snapchat shit too.
It's
Like
not called a timeline. It's called a feed.
it's like the new Snapchat shit too. Like it's a lot
Oh
harder
my
to find.
God. There's only
You
like
can still do it. It's just hard.
I only watch like 10 people's stories now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only the people that frequently I talk to on Snapchat because they're going to be on the top of my list.
Yeah.
Which is kind of annoying because that was like part of the reason I got on Snapchat. I wanted to see what everyone's doing.
Yep.
I missed the playlist
Yo,
feature. Just
hold on,
tap it.
George,
Yep.
real quick. Did you get that picture of Abby sent you in Urban Outfitters?
No.
What, how she wanted to go say hi to Ocean, but she
Yeah.
was too scared?
And she
yeah,
sent you a picture.
I texted Ocean.
Did you?
Yes, I was like, bro, just can you go say hi to this? Like, I tried to describe Abby to her, and he's like, I don't see her. And I was like, it's
She
just-
probably already left. She
I
probably
was like-
snuck out.
I was
Did
like,
she?
bro,
But
just don't
like,
even worry about it.
did she take a picture of like his back essentially and be like, send
No,
you that
she
Snapchat?
didn't send that to me.
Because I told her, I was like, you should have totally took a Snapchat of him and just sent it straight to Cody.
Yeah, because I told him, I was like, look, like, there's a girl in there. She's pretty awkward. He's like, why does she want to say hi to me? I was like, bro, it's a long story. I'll tell you later. I told him later. I was like, it's like there's no reason
There's
why.
literally
She
no
just,
reason.
She
She
just
just
wanted to.
dork.
Yeah.
Sorry, George. Go continue.
I forget what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. I just-
Yeah, I don't like the algorithm thing. Like, for instance, one time I got on Facebook. Actually, it was one night. Like, I was kind of freaked out. No, I could not find a single post from a person on my newsfeed from a friend. It was all pages.
Yep.
Like, strictly pages.
That's crazy.
And I refreshed it. Still, I kept refreshing, and then finally I got like one friend's post, and then more ads, like just nonstop.
Do you think it's good?
The ads have kind of gotten outrageous. On
Do you think
Facebook.
this is going to kind of like kill social media down a little bit?
It could. I think it could because I don't get on Facebook to see glow sticks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't get on Facebook to see really cool hoodies.
Except I really want to get that horror hoodie. I
Like a lot of them look really nice, and
I bought a
click
hoodie
on-
off Instagram one time because of that. The Rafiki one.
Really?
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Everything go okay with that? 'Cause I always don't trust those sometimes.
No, it went perfect.
Oh.
And it was actually just like great quality like they described it.
I still haven't got my GoPros from a year ago.
You're never getting those things, so.
Never seen them.
I paid $8.
Where did you buy them off of?
I don't even know the link.
Some Asian website.
Yeah,
That,
it was just pay shipping.
Just pay shipping.
So I'm like, fuck it. I'll spend the $8, try and buy 2, and see what happens. It's been about a year.
Nothing's happened.
they're probably just
Yeah.
holding all your account information, waiting till you forget about
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of scary, bro.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
There's someone running around with their
Well, see,
social
but I was
in
reading the
China.
reviews, and half of them were I didn't get it or I got it, and it's actually pretty badass.
Damn.
So I,
you
I
had like
felt
a
like I had a
50-50
50-50 shot.
Yeah, that's fair, bro.
And at one point, they did send me tracking info, but I think I lost that email. I'm going to look for that right
Little do you know, they put that on the Malaysia flight. That's what happened.
Was that a year ago?
No,
I have no- that was probably
that
like-
was more than a year.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that was
Did you-
forever ago.
Did I already talked about this on Twitter or on the podcast, right?
What?
The people on Twitter getting random
my God,
broadcast
yeah.
messages.
I don't know.
Like they were getting random like coordinates. One dude got like a voicemail of someone talking about coordinates, and it happened to be where the Malaysia flight crashed.
I think
That's
you
really
did,
weird.
but it's on one of the ones we didn't release.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they were getting there's these people. I don't know how true it is,
Yeah.
Probably not at all. 'Cause
but
I saw those posts too.
yeah, I don't know. But if it is, it's pretty interesting because they were talking about it could be the black box info because that's typically what it is. And they were talking about that the reason the kid got the message is because something about like the atmosphere, like sometimes the atmosphere can mess with like how signals get transmitted. And it sent it like his direction or something like that.
Oh. Huh.
Spooky, spooky.
Right, that'd be weird.
And then when he posted it, someone messaged him on Insta I'm gonna go through every social media before I get to Twitter. Someone messaged him on Twitter telling him to take it down. It
You
was
forgot
like some,
Tumblr.
Oh yeah, Tumblr.
yeah, someone messaged him like shortly after he posted it, telling him to take it down.
Oh. That's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
It was like some random page with like only a few followers.
Oh. Awkward.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Okay.
Have you ever wondered like how depressing your job is if you're the dude who processes those black boxes from plane crashes?
Oh no.
Like you're like
That is a job, yeah.
or like 911 operators. That's got to be like the most depressing thing in the world, bro.
Well, I mean, fuck. I'm if everything goes right, I'll be working at a rehab facility.
That's awkward.
Horrible.
Not really,
I'm
fucking horrible.
I'm
Wait, well,
I'm
hold on.
partially opposed, but I'm not at the same
What kind
time.
of rehab though? Because it depends. Is it just like a general like
Yeah,
for
it's
every
like
type
it's a
of-
house.
Oh, okay.
It's like a really nice house, and they have like X amount of patients. And
Because rehab facilities always aren't so depressing. I mean, there's probably going to be very rough days where it's like super depressing,
Well,
but
it depends. If I get third shift, I will. My only job will be like just to do like random cleaning around the house and making sure that they're either still there or alive.
yeah.
But yeah, I
You're
don't know.
gonna go back to the third shift.
I don't know yet. I don't know.
Ugh.
It'd be cool because it's only 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. So
Oh.
I mean, it wouldn't really affect my life too bad.
Yeah.
And what do you call? I don't know. I feel like it'd be cool. Like it pays pretty good,
Yeah.
fairly decent.
Like, great.
Yeah, pretty good. And I don't know. It's kind of like it seems like it'd be a rewarding job. Like you're there through these people's like
Rough
journey
like
to
they're-
get out of.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a horrible idea, and I don't think you're gonna last. Listen to me.
Oh God.
Drug addicts, and this is gonna be third shift.
Maybe.
Drug addicts make some weird noises in the middle of the night.
Wait, that kind of rehab?
What do you mean?
I thought you meant like.
It's a rehab facility. It's a house.
Yeah.
People go there to. I don't know.
I thought you meant like a physical rehab facility, like
Oh no.
someone who just like
No.
got in a car crash and things like
No.
that. Oh, you meant
No.
like a drug. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna have
Never
some
mind.
zombie-looking motherfuckers.
That's
Well, they're not allowed out of the room at a certain time. They're not allowed in the kitchen.
So you're still gonna have some zombie-looking mofo's in that house, probably tapping or banging on something, making their people. I've experienced drug addicts. They make some weird noises in the middle of the night.
Well, that's when they're an addict. This is rehab. This is after the fact.
This is just them going to be crying and whining and in pain.
So yeah, imagine that middle of the night.
I'm pretty
be
good at tuning
horrifying.
people out, though.
Real quick, throwing it back to the algorithm. Our friend on Facebook actually just made a post about it.
Damn.
Kendall Atkins.
You know why? You know
Hey.
why that popped up?
Probably because we were talking about it.
Exactly.
That's
But she made
creepy,
made
bro.
this post 2 minutes ago.
That's so creepy.
So hold on. Sees post from a group/friend. Wow, I haven't heard from them in a while. Likes post. Sees nothing but said person/group posting for the next half hour.
Yeah.
That's so.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Like that's how it works.
Yeah.
You liked it? Okay. Here's
you know,
more.
You know what I'd love about Phil on the podcast? He stays about 3 conversations behind. Like,
Well, see,
at
I
all
either
times.
stay ahead, I keep it moving, or I'm jumping back.
Yeah.
But
At
like
all times.
that
So
was
I'm gonna
worth a
jump
share
back then
because
to the very beginning.
okay.
9/11 was inside job.
Yep.
God.
7-Eleven
Do we have
was
to put
a
on our
building
tinfoil hats right now?
Oh no!
I already got
I'm,
one
I'm
on.
about. I'm
The
about
inside of
to.
this cap's lined with aluminum.
Yeah. Cody's put little pieces of it in his hair.
I'm not gonna say this person's name.
Yeah. Alex Jones.
He might as well be. You know him. You've met him a few times. He's at my house frequently.
Oh shit.
Like, yeah. Okay. This person tried to tell me.
These stories are always great.
This was really hard to like handle. No, let me preface this by saying what he said was so outrageous that normally when someone says something really stupid, I'm like, well, I'm out of here. I'll leave or go to my room.
Yeah.
This was so stupid that I had to sit there and be like, okay, how did he get here? Like, how did he get to that point of thinking? So I sat there for like almost an hour.
Listening to him.
He tried to tell me we didn't drop nuclear weapons on Japan in World War II. They were fire bombs.
Fire bombs.
And he compared it to Chernobyl. Why are people, starting to move back inside of those areas after they dropped a nuclear bomb, but nobody can live in Chernobyl? And I tried to tell him, well, that is an entire nuclear reactor. Chernobyl is an entire reactor that versus a warhead.
I know this person. He's not smart. I can tell you this is something he'd think of. No, this is something he was told to think by some
Okay, can you
YouTube star.
Hold on, can you recap this for me? Because I like.
Yeah.
He said, we did not drop nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II.
Reasons.
Because people moved back.
He
into
didn't have
there.
a reason.
Okay. So he's just an idiot.
Yes.
Okay.
He actually didn't have a reason as to why we would fake that.
Yeah.
I tried to get it out of him, but he just kept, running around it.
Bro, does he not like? There's evidence of these things happening. Like there's.
Yeah, I was telling my coworkers about it, and my one coworker, he's a really smart dude. He was like, He was like, I think Japan would beg to differ with that opinion. Like, yeah.
It's
He's
like
people are living in Nagasaki right now, and I was like, not really, but okay.
it's like you mean to tell me that this country that we are at war with agreed to make it look like to the world that we beat them in said war, and then we just
Superpower.
and just let them be, and then we just dropped a couple firebombs.
We got
sprinkled
Toyota out of it.
sprinkled them a little bit. That's like that.
Anime,
Honda,
Nissan.
Mitsubishi.
Subaru,
Like these are the people who
Toshiba.
who had soldiers specifically for the reason to suicide dive bomb
Yeah.
American ships.
Yeah.
Bonza! No.
And they're going to let us make it look like to the rest of the world that we dropped nukes on them.
Well, he
and
doesn't
actually
deny that
didn't.
we killed them. He thinks we used a different kind of bomb.
But
Brandon.
He's like, it can't be nuclear. And I was like, why can't it? And he's like, because people live there right now. And I was like, no, they don't.
Brandon, he's not smart. He's the same type of person who
I mean,
uses
the levels have
wasn't
dropped to a
talking.
point where it's
No,
habitable.
yeah,
but-
they're just starting.
yeah.
And I tried to explain to him. I was like, have you never gone to Google Images and looked up children of Hiroshima? And he was like, no. And I was
I'm
like,
about to.
I was like, go ahead. Because what nuclear radiation does,
It mutates things.
no,
I mean, it does.
kind of. It separates atoms.
Yeah,
Messes up your DNA.
So
which is a mutation. But go on.
if you were around the area and you had a child, your child would be extremely deformed.
Mhm.
As in, like, massive feet. Like mass. Did you look it up, George? It's disgusting.
I'm not seeing anything.
Let me see. Oh, shit! Oh, God.
I think I just saw the Japanese version of the Ring Girl.
That is Japanese.
What? The Ring?
Yeah.
Bro.
It was
This
Tabitha in the well?
This kid's
It was
brain is falling off
originally
the
a
side of his
Japanese
head.
as was the Grudge.
Oh, that's just
This kid's brain is
Why do you
falling out the
scream?
side of his head.
That's Jesus Christ. All right, this is
Yeah,
really
we
sad.
didn't drop nuclear bombs on them at all.
See what happened? He melted from the heat. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Fire bombs.
No, someone took.
We were able to create a napalm bomb so large that we were able to take out an entire city, one singular bomb. We can't do that now, but we did it in World War II.
And my thing is, it's like he thinks that someone he has to in his mind he has to believe that someone went through the internet and just made all these Photoshop pictures of these little kids. Like,
Oh yeah, he thinks he didn't outright say the Earth was flat.
oh god.
Yep, we had this conversation.
You were
me and
talking
him.
to a flat earther.
No. This is how the conversation started. Mind you, I wasn't even talking to him because
Oh, jeez.
I knew that he had something to say about it. but I
Yo,
was
before
like,
you go on to the rest of the story, you got to put some type of sign on your door that says "No idiots allowed past this point."
Two of his roommates are done for.
Yeah.
That's fine. That means he gets to live by himself for the rest of his life,
I'm
so he's
just playing.
Gucci.
Anyway,
I brought up to Nevin because I was like, "Yo, Nevin," I was like, "Man, I want to find like a real like flat earther. Like, I want to like get on Facebook or something and like ask someone in like a true flat earther group or something." Phil's still looking up children of Hiroshima. It's fucking.
Kid was born
it's-
with no legs.
Yeah. Most of the time, they don't grow up to be older than like 6 months, and they die because they're so radiated.
yeah.
Not irradiated, but deformed.
Yes.
Anyway, all I wanted to know, I was like, man, I want to find like a flat earther, maybe get on Reddit, find the flat Earth page or a Facebook page
Just
or something. And I
something,
want to
yeah.
ask someone, like, seriously though, like, all jokes aside, I just want to know what they think is on the other side of like said flat Earth. I just want to know, like, I'm curious to see what their theory would be about that because I feel like it'd be pretty interesting shit.
I think that's where you'd stump them. I really do because it's like that thing I always say. If you ever hear someone talk about they, ask them who they is. They will shut down. They won't be able to handle that.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm just curious. I want to know, like, what could possibly be on the other side? Because I mean, if people are inhabited one side, something has to be inhabited on the other,
That's
right?
where the dinosaurs went, Cody. Everyone knows. Gosh.
You know, that is interesting because it's like
I'm
whenever
just
people
curious, you
whenever
know?
people talk about it, it's just like, oh, you just fall off, and I'm like, okay,
Just fall off.
where does it like?
I'm just curious.
I've
Do
always
they
been
think
so.
only one side of said flat thing is like gravity effects?
I've always been so just like, my brain just melts talking to these people after I hear them say the Earth is flat that I just forget to ask the follow up questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that turned into about an hour of him telling me all the shit that he's looked up about flat Earth.
uh.
Being his first argument,
You
all
can't
the
see the
ancient
curve.
civilizations thought the Earth was flat. And I said, well, that's because they're
Ancient. They don't-
idiots.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, they were advanced for their time, but that still doesn't mean, it still doesn't change the fact they used wooden hammers.
I got a breaking news story out of Indianapolis.
Someone got stabbed in the downtown library.
4 people got stabbed. 2 of them are in the ICU.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
downtown
Yeah.
library.
Yeah.
All of them are flat earthers.
The dude was playing stuff through a megaphone, and people asked him to stop, and he pulled out a knife and then continued to stab 4 people.
Which
It's like Chris
just-
Rock said, if you
Bro.
3 people deserve to get stabbed.
And it also
Yeah.
just shows you can kill a lot of people with a knife just like you can with a gun.
Which means we have to ban guns. I mean, and
ban
knives.
We have to ban it all, man. No weapons.
Yeah.
Gone. Sorry.
Well, sock 'em boppers. There you go.
it just kept going about flat Earth,
And just giving you just
and then
reason after reason. Huh?
he went as far as to say that the photos on NASA, the NASA website, are fake.
To be fair,
You know why? This is his reason. They look photoshopped as fuck.
here's the thing. You're not going to like to hear this. They're CGI, but so are photos of models, and no one's saying those are fake. They're touch-ups. Like, okay, let's get rid of this cloud right here. Let's make like Africa a bit more green right here. Shit like that. Second of all, does he also believe that the moon is flat? And the sun? How far is he willing to go with this?
Okay, honestly, the sun is just a giant light bulb controlled by aliens. So
There you go.
I saw this one post on Facebook today. It was like
a giant bowl.
it was a creationist post,
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
and it was the sun, and it said, "Fire needs oxygen to survive," and it said, "Just think about that," and it was a picture of the sun. And I was like,
the sun isn't a fire.
It is, but its fuel is itself, kinda.
It's not fire. It's basically magma. The gravity of itself creates heat.
Yeah. No, it's burning off hydrogen or helium.
"This is what happens when you only go to one source for your information."
God damn it, is Alex Jones. That's
Yo,
all he
what
needs.
if like
Like homeboy who made a viral video and convinced hundreds of thousands of people that dinosaurs are fake.
Because Cody, they are. The Bible tells us so.
Yeah, this kid, you could tell he's young by his voice. Like, just
Yeah.
went through the ropes. Of
I've seen this
explaining.
video. Joe Rogan has a video of him.
And the paleontologist.
Yeah.
that's how I found out about this.
So
The
awesome,
paleontologist was pissed.
dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen a greater example of nerd rage. It was awesome.
yeah, if that's like your profession, that shit gets annoying. Like
And that's what I was explaining. Man, I get in arguments all the time on Facebook. It's a little bad, but it's because
you need to
I
learn
don't
not
mean
to engage.
I don't mean no. I don't mean for it to turn into an argument. I always start with just the facts,
But you can't do that in this
and
day and age.
only
Cody.
because I really just want to help people. Like honestly, that's at the I can't help it. I really can't.
I know, but you have at some point you have to understand
A girl we went to high school.
they don't
with,
want your they don't want your help.
Who-
They just want to stay
who
in
was
their
it?
ignorance.
Her name was Carrie.
Oh fuck, God,
Oh, God. So you're gonna name drop this person?
Yeah,
Okay,
because she
okay.
pissed me off.
she's an anti-vaxxer.
She went on Facebook talking about being anti-vax and how she'll never vaccinate her kids and this and this and that. And I got on there and I was like, well, I don't know if you know this, but the whole anti-vax thing is a hoax. She's like, no, it's not this and that. And I was like, no, just hold on. I
Calm
was
down.
like, there was a man, I believe his name is Andrew, I want to say Andrew Whitfield, but I think that's wrong.
It's Alexander Graham Bell.
No. This guy, he was a doctor in the UK.
Yeah.
He was trying to make his own measles patent in about 1995. When he couldn't get the patent and started getting lawsuits, he decided to turn around and make a slanderous article about the brand that this measles vaccine causes autism. It wasn't until 2004 that somebody decided what
We had
what?
this conversation 2 weeks ago on the podcast.
Do you
No, I don't
Seriously?
believe so.
Yeah.
No, because
We
Do you know
literally
who I'm
we've
talking-
literally had this conversation already.
but did you hear the origin of it all?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Anyway, second of all, I'd like to remind everybody that autism is a genetic disorder. You can't cause it.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, so it wasn't until 2004 someone decided to research this man's article, and they found out about all his dirty little secrets, and the only reason that he's the only doctor on earth that proved, like, there was no proof behind this article.
Because the rest of them are bought out by Big Pharma, Cody.
They immediately pulled the article
Yeah.
and revoked this man's license. Medical license.
Yeah.
2016, this man did not get the hint that, hey, stop being a douche. You're lying to people. 2016, he released a movie, which is what sparked it up again. And so now I've given her all this information, and she refused to take it in.
As
And
they
then
do.
she tried to tell me that what's it called? Alternative medicine. What's the term called?
Useless.
Marijuana.
No, when you use
Fake.
Hippies.
huh?
Hippies.
Eastern medicine.
No, there's a medical term for this.
Stop yelling.
It started with like an H or something like that.
Oh, it's fuck. What is it called?
Anyway, god damn it! Now I gotta look this up. You don't know what I'm talking about? Your sister's probably super into it.
Oh, yeah, probably. She's also into rocks and shit. Hi, Tia.
What's it? It's called like it starts with an H. Homeopathy.
That's what. Yeah. I knew it was
Homeopathic remedies.
Yeah. Yep.
She was trying to tell me about all these homeopathic remedies and that elderberry does
Why
this.
do you
and
have a
this.
face like you just like are
'Cause
constipated right now?
That word doesn't make sense.
Anyway,
I'm trying to remember the roots for it.
this elderberry juice, right?
Yeah.
This root, this elderberry, whatever, cures all this stuff. And I was like, okay, that's fine that you believe that and all, but do you really think, after hundreds of years of medical research, that a doctor saw this plant, didn't bother testing on it, and some jackass on the internet was like, just happened to stumble across this magical, mystical berry and was like, hey, this cures cancer? No.
People, I'd like to remind you that there's nothing new under the sun. If elderberries had healing, it's called properties, we'd have fucking known about it.
That's not true though. There's new things under the sun.
But you understand what I mean.
Elderberry's been around. We know what it is.
I know,
It's
I'm
not
just saying.
magically curing anything.
I'm just saying I hate that phrase because that's not true.
Homeopathy, the treatment of diseases by minute doses of natural substances
Yes.
in a healthy person would produce symptoms.
So the
of
same thing
diseases.
we've been talking about.
Yes.
No, I just wanted to.
Thanks for the recap.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Fuck fish.
So it kept going and it kept going, and she's just going at it,
That's
talking about how she can't trust the CDC
What?
because it's a government website.
What?
Is it the CDC I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a government organization.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Center for
Center of
Disease.
Disease Control.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the CDC. Now here's where her whole argument was fucked.
I don't.
She was talking about that the CDC released, there's like ingredients for these vaccines. But she doesn't believe the CDC when they say that you have to vax because it doesn't cause autism. She's getting her information
From
to
CDC.
go against the CDC from the CDC.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like robbing a gun store with a gun you just bought from them.
You know what they call that?
Stupid.
A libtard.
And so by the end of this, I lost it. And I started being mean.
Yeah. See, look, there's always a point to this, and then once you hit that breaking point,
I
you
was
just
like,
lose
I
it.
said that we should call Child Protective Services because somebody like you should not be having children.
Oh, that's some fuck, Cody. That
What?
might have gone too far. That
Nah.
might be a little.
No, because I feel bad for that kid. He has to grow up in that environment.
Hold up, second of all, in Alaska as well, the great outdoors where all the germs are, and this man does not have any vaccinations.
I feel bad for these kids because they got to grow up with this, like this whole idea.
Yeah.
See, my whole argument on this is every time I get one of these fucking vaccines against something I'm not supposed to get, I get it. I hate getting vaccines now, only because every time I get the vaccine, I end up getting whatever I'm trying to not
I mean,
get.
that's what it's supposed to do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
'Cause
like the
otherwise-
chickenpox vaccine. I got the shot, and 3 weeks later, I'm fucking scratching like none other.
Because it's your.
Because that was
But
really
still-
heroin. You're
But
going
like
through
that's the
withdrawals.
whole thing of it.
No, I don't like that.
That's the whole purpose
I
of
don't
it.
want to purposefully make myself sick in order to not get sick.
But you're not purposely
I
making
haven't been
yourself
truly
like.
sick in 8 years.
You know why that is?
I haven't gotten a vaccine in 8 years. I haven't gotten flu shots. I haven't gotten shit. Every time I get the flu shot, I get
The flu shot's one that's just like a.
But like,
That's a throwaway
Also,
one.
how many different strains are there of the flu?
Exactly. But like, you don't get sick because you got
Here's my
vaccinated.
thing, though.
Because all the major
Right.
ones you're not sick from.
Modern medicine works. However,
I
one of
agree.
her little cronies that was arguing against me did make a valid point, and I went out of my way to say, yes,
What?
this is a valid point. There's not a one cure-all.
Yeah.
Like, different vaccines are going to affect people differently because everyone's body is different. That is true, but that's also why people continually research and try and figure out, okay, how can we change this to fit more people?
Science is the process of proving yourself wrong.
Right, and I was telling them, I told them, you guys realize what you're doing right now is you're just shitting on somebody's lifelong work for hundreds of years. And they're like, well, maybe their work's wrong. And I was like, okay.
That's
I
why.
highly doubt you're the person to say so.
Right, and I was like, that's the thing. I'm like,
You
these
don't even have a white jacket on, let alone a lab coat. Shut up.
That's why it's that saying, a know-it-all knows nothing. Because they're never open to receiving new information
Yeah.
because they think they know everything.
I just want to share this story real quick. You guys kind of already know it, but my coworker Derek.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, he walked around looking like death,
Oh, yeah.
sounding like death.
Hmm.
Like, this dude was obviously really sick. He didn't go to the doctor because he hasn't had insurance in God knows how long, and he finally does, so he hadn't found a doctor yet. He finally goes to the doctor, and the first thing that they do when he walks in and they started, like, checking him out, the doctor wants to hook up an EKG because they thought he was in AFib. So, like, his heart was failing.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
His doctor was like, "Sir, you are really sick. You need to go to the hospital."
Yeah. It's typically how that works.
He had pneumonia,
Damn.
and he had so much fluid in his lungs that, like, it took them a couple hours of deliberation to decide whether or not to, like, manually go in and drain this fluid.
Yeah.
And they gave him like 6 bottles of pills, like 6 different pills to take. And it was funny because the doctor said, "Okay, this one here."
This one does this sometimes.
Yeah,
You gotta take this for that.
No, so she was like, "Yeah. So if you take this medicine and you wake up and your ankles are swollen, stop taking that medicine." Not shitting you. He said he woke up and couldn't put on his socks because his feet were so swollen.
Oh, my God.
So he
Like,
stopped taking that
he
medicine.
said his ankles were probably like 8 to 9 inches around.
Oh, my God.
That's the other thing we have to understand, too, is medicine is not a perfect science.
No.
It's
No.
all hypotheses.
Also-
That's all it is.
In response to her, there is no such thing as a cure-all thing. Every vaccines affect people differently and such. That is true. Certain people just can't get vaccinations at all. But there's a certain thing called herd immunity. Since most people are immune to something, there's less of a chance that people who aren't.
That's why
aren't
polio
immune.
died out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm immune to chickenpox.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Like,
Ebola.
yeah, no. So, I guess back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, there was a thing called chickenpox parties, where parents, if their kids had chickenpox, all their parent friends would get them together. They'd all have a, like, slumber party, whatever, and all the kids would get chickenpox because you can't get it again.
Yeah.
Get it out the way, whatever the what.
But doesn't that give you shingles down the road, or is it if you don't get chickenpox, you get
If
shingles?
you get chickenpox, you can get shingles.
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never got the chickenpox
Yeah.
at the chickenpox party.
You
House full of kids with chickenpox, never got it.
Bro, that's low key so screwed up though. The kids,
Yeah.
parents
No,
just be like,
you know what's screwed up about it?
Go get
Me,
infected.
The genetic
like,
deformity. I have asthma. I'm allergic to soy. I'm allergic to the outside. But I can't get chickenpox.
It's like, I'm not allergic to poison ivy.
That's crazy to me. Like, that's-
There's people that are.
My brother has had it probably 15 to 20 something times.
Yeah.
And I've been in all the same places that he has been when he's got it. I've never gotten it.
I don't think I've ever had poison ivy either.
my sister's dad is immune to poison ivy as well. It's crazy.
You know the whole thing how we're past natural selection.
Yeah.
That's me is
Well, yeah, but
pure,
I'm saying
pure
like,
case in point. Like,
but like now I find it funny because it's like me and you are both like pure reasons why
Right.
natural selection should have like killed us off.
for sure.
But like now it's since we're all past it, everyone's so just like genetically screwed one way or the other that
Yeah.
our society is so different now. Which I guess that's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing too. 'Cause, you know,
That's what happens when you start to intermingle with the other species and other races.
I don't. Oh, never mind.
Other interracial relationships cause this.
Yeah.
Facts.
God meant for the white man.
To have a white woman.
Yeah. I was watching some Wolfenstein gameplay the other day.
Yeah.
dude, that game is crazy.
Yeah. So one of the characters in there, BJ Blazkowicz's dad, had this
Bro.
horrible monologue.
Bro, that dad in that game he is crazy.
Oh yeah, I watched some scenes. I think at one point one of his quotes was, "God sent the white man to straighten out the queer."
He also made you kill your pet, like your dog. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler. The game's like $20. It's been out forever.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, he just like
It's an interesting thing to think about though. Like if had Japan never attacked Pearl Harbor, who knows how far the Nazis would have gotten. Yeah, the same person about the flat Earth and the nuclear war. That's how this started, because he seemed to think that the Nazis wouldn't have got that far.
No, they wouldn't have. There's about 8 time zones of Soviet Russia to stop him.
I don't know, man.
Oof.
Because they were working west so quick.
The reason they screwed up is because they tried to go into Russia
Yeah.
instead of letting Russia come to them. Because you can't go into Russia and win. You just can't.
But yeah, I was going to remember. Like 8 time zones of fucking Russia, like I said, and then a bunch of other small factions fighting against Nazi Germany.
Well,
You
see,
wanna know how many
the other
countries-
thing.
Don't get me wrong. U.S. was also a big factor.
But
Yeah.
George, you
Yeah.
have to understand, Germany is one country in a continent of like 30 countries.
I know.
And they dominated every other country. So what?
Most
what do you
of those
think?
countries, they just walked in and people gave them.
Exactly. So why do you think that, like,
we talking about you?
No, that's a fucked up thing. That's a whole thing. I don't want to get into it.
Italians, y'all some bitches.
They were part of it.
Yeah, they were like, ah.
But I'm saying like what makes you
Spaghetti and fascism, hey!
But like my thing is like what makes you think that like if they could just do that and dominate an entire continent, what's going to stop them from going across the sea and destroying us too?
What?
We're America.
Yeah.
Shut up.
But no,
You got to think about the time, the length of time though too. The Nazis were working on a lot of crazy shit. Like they made the jet airplane.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they were pieces of junk at the time, but they invented that shit.
They also more or
So,
less.
mind you, had they have kept moving west, America hadn't got. Who's to say that certain things like that wouldn't have got perfected?
Well, because basically that's kind of what ended with the war is the U.S. entering the war.
Yeah, we
Like,
closed. It was Russia. We closed the front. Now, granted, Russia pounded their assholes, but
Oh, yeah.
but it was the fact that we were able to close in on them from all directions.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't an insignificant thing, America joining, but like, it's just one of those things that.
I think it would have gone a lot differently. Had
Oh,
it-
yeah.
If we would
absolutely
if we would have
significantly
stayed out of it, it would have been
differently.
a completely different war.
especially with Japan, because Japan was also taking over all that other shit over there too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So had they not
Basically-
have gone over to us first and started taking over all the other islands, like if they would have completed like their takeover on the Philippines, Thailand,
Yeah, theoretically, if the U.S. didn't enter the war, Japan and Germany single-handedly, with China, could have basically taken over all of those continents. And the only thing that would have been left would have been North America, South America, and Australia.
China was an allied power.
I know it was.
Never mind.
But who knows where it would have gone if it would have gotten into Japan and Germany working their way up to...
It's just
They
one
moved
of
really quick too. Like
Yeah.
that's really scary
Yeah,
to
that's
think
the whole
about.
Blitzkrieg thing.
Like they moved quick.
it's one of those things that's like it's such a complicated thing. 'Cause there's so many people involved.
There's
so
a lot
many
of
countries. Yeah,
variables,
there's so
obviously,
many
like-
variables. But I mean, the like
I mean, that's why we've always had such a big military.
we
Yeah,
had to
just-
resort
just in
to
case.
nuking
yeah
Japan to
Because-
finish it because they refused to lose.
yes.
Like you got to
You
think
might refuse. Doesn't mean you're not gonna.
like that's my whole take on the Middle East too. Like we're fighting same thought, like the same people with people with the same kind of thought process. I'm not gonna die because you killed me. I'm gonna die because I killed all of us.
Yeah.
You can't win
It's-
against people like
I
that.
think the only-
It's the thought process that the individual isn't as important as
The whole.
The
Yeah.
The whole is more important than the
Which is the
individual.
opposite way of American thinking.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think the only person who successfully conquered the Middle East was Genghis Khan.
And that's because he was a fucking savage.
Yeah. And dude, what he did there was horrifying.
1 in 200 men share DNA with Genghis Khan.
Oh, I think that's just in Central Asia.
No.
No.
1 in 200 men.
George.
Period.
He went from Mongolia almost all the way to Europe.
No, I think he got into Europe. Back
Okay, then you know where white people are from?
Yeah.
The Caucasus Mountains in Europe.
Okay.
Okay.
I told
So
my coworker that the other day, and he was like, "Oh." I was like, "Where'd you think the word Caucasian?" I was like, "That didn't just like sprout out of nowhere."
but yeah, so he's I mean,
1 in 200 men.
Could you imagine if like they picked some other area?
What do you mean?
for
instead of
for
being-
white people to come from.
Yeah, for white people to come from. Instead of being Caucasian, we're like Napolesian.
Sardesians.
Sardesians. I wouldn't mind that. I'm a Sardesian.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna write that,
I
I'm gonna
wouldn't
write
like
that on
that.
my application next
wouldn't
time.
like that.
I'm gonna put other and write Sardesian. I'm gonna be like, what is that? Just white.
Alpine would work. I would think Alpine.
Hey, in 2018, they can't identify you. You can only identify you, sir.
Yeah, Cody.
Did you see that Maine just passed a law saying that employers can no longer discriminate against you for smoking weed?
That's great because countrywide, I can't get a job if employer decides I don't like his hair.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a countrywide law. It is now legal to discriminate somebody from a job because of dreadlocks.
Which is stupid.
That's what I'm saying. Like what? Out of all the factors, he has no criminal background. He went to Carmel High School. He has experience in just about every field out there.
And those dreads take a lot of dedication, so you know he's a hard worker.
You know what I'm saying, but we don't like his dreadlocks. Be gone.
Are you start becoming a social justice warrior for dreadlockians?
I mean,
Caucasians.
dreadlockians.
it's just stupid. Like of all the things to be like, nah, why dreadlocks?
It's a waste of time and money.
Because it's
Because it's
different.
like there's so many things that you could spend more time and money on.
Fuck, you go to damn Starbucks and you got a chick there with half her head shaved and
Yeah.
part of it's pink and the other part's aqua blue,
She's artsy.
and she's got 4 piercings in her lower lip, but they could be like, you got dreads. Not really our thing.
That's too
Yeah,
far.
Just say you're
Yeah.
trans, and then they have to hire you.
I'm just saying, like of all the different things you
Start
guys,
spelling your name with an I. There you go.
I think it's the government's way of like starting to take out anyone who's an individual, but like
Yeah.
only start with niche groups. Because if they would have started with trans,
Oh, that would have never.
It's a
happened.
large group of angry people.
That would have.
First, they came for the dreadlocks.
I'm just saying. I feel like that's might be what it is. Like
It could be.
it's their way of trying to slowly but surely like.
Make America great again.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That was a great
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was.
That's such a fucking catchy slogan, too.
He
That's a
didn't come up
great
with it.
slogan.
I know.
Yeah, no, he didn't, but it's still a great slogan.
He's got a smart marketing team.
Yeah.
So, can we switch
Well, he's
gears and
Switch gears game.
because I kind of want to talk about this is going to be some form of sports, but we're not going to talk about the actual sport. It's fine.
Sports.
Boxing.
Exactly. That's where I was going with this.
Boxing.
Conor
on the
McGregor.
ring and throw some fists.
We can talk about that too, yeah.
Man.
So,
He's
That,
fucked.
that dude should either do shot put or javelin toss. He fucked that bus up.
Well,
but
he threw a dolly.
Still.
And
you know
a
what I mean.
fence.
They grabbed the fence. He tried to throw it, but they grabbed it like as he was throwing it.
so
Good on the
But
security.
just the fact that he was trying to throw that entire fence.
should we like maybe give some backstory instead of just commenting on
No.
it before
Conor
we?
McGregor's on coke, and he took it out on a bus.
That's
He
I guess
probably
that's
wasn't
fair.
on coke, but he was very angry.
Yeah.
He was like a man on coke.
From
Coke
what I
makes
understand,
you
there was
angry.
a beef that started with
They
a
took away
main
his
card
belt.
fighter, Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib. Yeah, no. Sorry,
Khabib,
that's
who just fought last Saturday. I'm pretty sure he won.
So-
good job, Khabib.
basically,
I know only parts of it. Like
Okay, so-
basically, it was either like Khabib's friend or it was Khabib's friend, right?
Yeah.
And he was beefing with one of McGregor's fighters, like because he has like a whole little team now or something.
yeah. So a training partner of McGregor.
He's on his Floyd Mayweather shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Well, not anymore.
he got into it with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Khabib hurt him. Conor flew out to New York and starting shit.
Well, there's more details to it. So basically, Mac Life, which is his little brand, I guess you would say. So during the weigh-ins for said fight, there was some Mac Life representatives there. They're allowed in the building, whatever, and they were credentialed people for the building.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, while the day before they had the weigh-ins, flew him and 20 other people, 20 some odd other people, on his private jet to New York.
Whew.
The weigh-ins happen. Everyone's leaving. The Mac Life representatives go and open a side door of the building. And in comes all these 20 some odd people, Mac and his little goons. And they just start attacking this bus.
Bunch of leprechauns.
Like a bunch of savages. Conor McGregor threw a dolly and it shattered a window and it injured like 3 fighters. One of them, his whole face was like cut.
Yeah.
One of them, it scratched his retina and his cornea. And there was also a female fighter. I guess she was pretty shooken up about the whole thing too. But he never got Khabib.
Yeah.
So he injured 3 fighters.
That weren't even involved in
And
this.
now he's facing 7 charges of assault.
Good.
Oh no, 7 years for like
Good.
3. There's like some odd
Yeah.
amounts of assault charges. Yes, facing 7 years. There was a warrant out for his arrest, and he was gonna leave, I think, but they tagged his passport, so he couldn't leave on his private jet. So he ended up turning himself in. Genius.
Idiot.
Yeah.
See, I knew he was going to have a short career. I saw it coming because
Yeah.
he did the same thing that Mayweather did, but he wasn't as business-oriented.
Yep.
Mayweather, it was, talked a whole lot of smack, did all this and that. But, however, you never saw him get out of character in public. You never saw him do anything, like, illegal in public
Nope. Well, I mean,
because he was super
The
business-oriented.
performance
he
was a
did.
performance.
He did go to jail for beating his wife,
Also, if I remember correctly, he
or his baby mama. Was it baby mama or his wife?
He got into a T.I., but I
know
think
what
that
that
was
is.
just an Instagram thing.
Yeah.
T.I.
Yeah.
The rapper.
Oh, he got into it with T.I.
You remember the meme, Where They At, though? Where They At, though? Yeah, that was T.I.
Oh.
Because apparently T.I. tried to fight Mayweather, and the rumor was that T.I. had black eyes, and he was like, they say I got black eyes. Where they at, though?
No, I think he, what's it called? There was some controversy in his gym. Apparently, they were doing like these little gym wars, like these battle, which apparently is very common in the boxing community, where they would take 2 gyms and like just have all their guys go at it in these insane boxing matches, like with like I don't know how many rounds per match.
They also have controversy because the way he does his fighters, he basically has his fighters fight for their spot.
Which yeah,
Which I mean is cool. I like it, but in an
makes sense.
in an ethics point of view, it's like if one dude won a fight and he goes back to the gym and some dude wants to fight, nobody's untouchable. Like if he has a fighter that just won a title and he's back in the gym, and if some dude beats him in a sparring match, he's no longer going to be on that next fight card.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying.
So that's kind of where he stands. But I mean, it makes sense though.
It does.
He's trying to breed the best fighters.
Yeah, Conor McGregor was on some other stuff. It's like
Stuff's
he just
called
ruined-
coke.
Like, how do you? My thing is like, how do you fight Mayweather, right? And you you lose, obviously.
My whole thing is, if he was beefing with Khabib, his profession is a combat sport.
yeah.
like Khabib.
What I'm saying, like, there should be absolutely no reason you do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
no.
if I remember correctly, another reason why he had beef with Khabib is because he wouldn't fight Khabib. That's what this is about. And so they just kind of stripped his belt away from him because he hadn't fought in a while, and gave it to the winner of
Yeah.
fight, and Khabib was the winner.
Yeah, they took his belt from him.
Yeah.
That's what pissed him off.
Give me a belt.
Don't ever do an Irish accent ever again.
And I'm pretty sure over like the history of all this, he's had belts taken away from him multiple times now.
Yeah, because
think it just
he
finally got to
realized
him.
how much, like how garbage the money is in UFC, and he's like, why would I keep doing this? Keep getting my ass beat every night when I just made $100 million fighting Floyd Mayweather? Like, why would you ever
Yeah,
like?
that was his most recent fight,
I know,
but that's not UFC. His most recent
Yeah,
UFC
yeah,
fight
I
was
know.
2 years ago.
I know that, but I'm saying like, But like
He's a made man.
Yeah,
There's-
I was watching the interview with Dana White, and he was like, "That was the most recent fight 2 years ago."
there's no reason for him to go back to the UFC though. That was like the dumbest thing the UFC could have let happen because as soon as Mayweather realized McGregor realized how much money he can make outside of the UFC, he was like, "Why would I ever go back and do that again?"
Yeah, but now that's like he really screwed himself on everything because
I mean-
now. What? Oh, now he can't be a face for any big companies,
Yeah,
and he done pissed Dana White off.
Yeah.
And when Dana White don't like you, you don't fight.
yeah,
So he really screwed himself.
yeah. He just it's like he had it set up to where he could like make a lot of money, but he's just an idiot. And
Didn't he do a Burger King ad recently?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Probably not anymore.
He's the new Sneak King.
All right, but I do want to talk about Deontay
Okay,
Wilder because
go for
he's an Alabama native, and I love that.
I like
about him.
Deontay Wilder, man. He's
Bro, I saw him fight. Who was the last person he fought? Ortiz, I believe.
I don't know, but he's
Bro.
definitely good. I like him because he's an electrifying person.
He is.
And he will get people to watch boxing again, which I like because I like boxing. I don't like the UFC. I'm a boxing guy.
But-
that's only because I grew up in a boxing house.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, I don't know. I just have like this weird thing where like if you can't box, like it was just to me it was shown in the McGregor Mayweather fight. You could be this all-star UFC fighter, but they can't stand with the
No.
boxers.
No.
Okay, real quick, just because we're on this topic. Really the only three people I know from like UFC and boxing are Mayweather, McGregor. Okay, wait, there's the Pacquiao. I know him,
Yep.
and Kimbo Slice. Those are really the four people I
Muhammad
know.
Ali.
Because, well, yeah, Muhammad Ali, but
Muhammad
like,
Ali at one point was the most popular person in the world.
yeah. But like, I just remember it was a couple of years ago. Like Kimbo Slice was so hyped.
R.I.P.
Like
Rest in power.
it was
You know how he
it
got
was
there, right?
ridiculous. No,
Street fighting.
YouTube videos.
really.
Yeah.
Bro, he beat people down.
He was just beating people's ass in the backyard.
Bro, like I'm talking about like vicious
And
beat
Dana
downs.
White, being the businessman that he was like, why don't you come over here?
He's like, yeah, I like that a little bit. I like to see you.
But yeah, I don't know. I like Deontay Wilder because, I feel like boxing definitely needs a good like resurgence. I think people get caught up in this UFC shit, which I'm not really too happy about because I was listening to this interview with another UFC fighter and he was talking about how it's not even a sport anymore. It's just entertainment.
I think Joe Rogan said it's turning into WWE.
Yeah.
This is Joe Rogan, people.
Yeah.
He's
Loves-
been there since the beginning.
Yeah. And boxing, there's none of that.
That's the problem is money. That's the problem with
Yeah,
everything.
Of course.
but I like boxing a lot. I don't watch it because I don't. It's a lot of
I
work.
just think there's something to be said about two men who just use their hands.
Mhm.
You can't do nothing else.
You know what it is?
You can't grab me. You're going to stand there and fight me.
You know what it is?
What?
It's our primal instinct.
Yeah.
That's what boxing
Well, I mean,
plays.
UFC still has that, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
but
can get
I'm
on
saying-
top of someone and beat them
But
down.
I'm saying
but I feel
boxing
like,
does
yeah.
it more because it was like the original like fight sport. Like fight
Yeah.
sport's the only thing that are like because sport is supposed to mimic war, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no other sports other than fight sports that mimic any form of war. Because in fight sports, it's literally you or him who's gonna die essentially.
Combat sport is the term you're looking for, by the way.
No, they call them fight sports.
Combat sport.
I thought they called them.
It's combat sport.
I thought it was fight sports.
Combat sports.
Why is it? What's the difference?
Well,
Mimics war, combat.
I'm just saying UFC is called Ultimate Fighting, so it's
Yeah.
a fight sport.
It's a combat
It's
sport.
a fucking fight sport. It doesn't matter
It's called
which
a
word
combat
you
sport.
use; they can both work.
Anyway.
Yes.
But anyway, it's just it plays on your primal instincts of like you want to see that like brutality, that viciousness.
UFC just never interested me because, like, growing up with my dad, right? My dad, he went to this gym for a while there, and this was around the time when the TV show called The Ultimate Fighter came out.
Yeah.
Tough Championship is what it's shortened as.
hmm
And UFC was just starting to make its, like, climb. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
They both mean the same thing.
Anyway.
Combat is fighting. It's a fight sport. It's fine. Good lord.
Okay, Asperger's.
Oh my god.
My point that I'm trying to make is my dad used to go and spar with all the UFC, the wannabes.
Yeah.
And he used to smack the piss out of them. Because they are trying to be everything else as opposed to just fighting.
Yeah.
That's just my whole thing. I don't know.
But
There's a purity in boxing.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
Essentially, all it boils down to it's
No, I'm not. I never. Whenever I try and make this argument, UFC fucking fanatics are always get
what, bro? What?
like, nah, bro. UFC is way harder. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from mixed martial arts. What I am trying to tell you is, it was just proven your superstar, the face of the UFC, got his shit pushed in by Floyd Mayweather.
Mhm.
That was the most active Floyd Mayweather fight in the last 10 years.
Floyd literally took his time to beat him.
Like, Floyd, this was the first time Floyd was an active fight as opposed to being, defensive.
Technical.
Right. That should say a lot. I don't know.
But what do you think about Deontay Wilder saying he wants to kill somebody in the ring?
He said he want to catch a body. I don't know, man.
Like,
I
there's-
would
I'm not-
recommend it because I grew up around a dude who did that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just
One of my
saying.
dad's buddies. He
But-
it fucked him
Yeah,
up. He
did
doesn't
it-
fight.
he says that, but once that happens, it'll completely change.
Yeah, because you're in there for sport, right? At the end of the day, whether Deontay Wilder wants to admit it or not, you're in there for the sport of it.
Yeah.
You're not in there to hurt anybody necessarily.
Oh, he says he's in there to hurt people.
He's not.
I'm just
It's a
telling
part
you
of
what
the
he
show.
said.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean,
telling you what he
yeah,
said.
he's making himself electrifying. I love
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? He's making himself. Everyone. Oh, did you hear what y'all
talking
did?
that shit.
Right, I like it. But that really messes you up because I never knew why, I never knew about this dude's story. And then when my dad told me, like, a lot of his personality traits started making sense. Like, he's really quiet, kind of reserved dude. He drinks a lot.
Yeah.
And my dad told me, he killed someone in the ring.
I mean, it's the same thing with guys who come back from overseas who have killed. Like, it completely changes them, and that's how they are. It's the PTSD from the incident. Like, it's the deep psychological regret in the fact that they know what they've done.
And that's what there's an episode of Walking Dead that I think is like super like overlooked and like not appreciated. There's a character, his name's Morgan. I don't know if any of you watch Walking Dead. Okay, well there's a character named Morgan. He was in the very first episode. He rescues the main protagonist, Rick Grimes, from said zombie outbreak, whatever the what.
Oh, I saw the first episode. This is the black dude?
Yes,
Yeah,
Morgan.
okay.
With the staff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he also plays he voice acts for the dude in Destiny.
He's the one who shot his zombie wife.
He voice acts for Homeboy for the Crucible in Destiny.
The Lord Shax?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
Lord Shax as well. Fun fact.
Nice.
Morgan, you don't see him for like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah.
And almost I think it was like 3 seasons or something like that. He reappears. They show him, and he's gone ape shit.
Yeah.
Because you later find out his son dies,
Mm.
and
As
it
happens in
drove him
Apocalypse.
to insanity. And he went around and he would find like groups of looting people and like kill them, and all kind of crazy shit. And then
Dang.
he comes across this house, and this dude who's been surviving in this house, knocks him out and locks him up in a cage. Like he has like this prison that he like a cell that he built.
Yeah.
And the reason he did that is because he was a homicide analyst or something like that. Basically, it was his job to talk to these people who killed to understand why or what.
Yep.
And he explained that humans are not meant to kill one another. We are the only animal on Earth that is capable of deeper thinking.
Yeah.
So killing is a primal thing. When we were just, nomads and stuff, killing meant to survive.
Mhm.
We're past that.
Yeah.
So nowadays, we're advanced. That's why you get PTSD and stuff like that, because your brain is not meant to cope with something like that.
It overloads it.
Right. So, I don't know. But I like that he's talking that shit.
That's what I was about to ask you. I was like, as a boxing fan, does
I
that
like
not,
that he-
does
yeah.
that not make you want to watch his next fight? Like when he fights
course.
Joshua, you want to see that because you want to be like, if he's that crazy, because in your mind you're like, if someone's that crazy, there's no way he's losing,
Yeah.
right? Like there's no way.
I love it. I love it. I
Which-
love the attention that he's going to bring to the sport. I think, like I said, it's been something that it's near and dear to my heart, but I just feel like there's just nothing quite like it.
I feel like his fighting style too is just so erratic.
His
It's
last name
weird
is very, indicative of that.
because it's like the exact opposite of what Mayweather did.
Deontay Wilder, he's exciting to watch
Yeah.
because he's crazy. He throws wild punches and he goes for the knockout every fight.
Bro, I didn't know he was like I knew he was from Alabama, but that's like, I mean, he's from the backwoods. Like,
Funny enough, he started to gain a lot of fame from the internet
yeah,
because once upon a time there was this dude on YouTube, social media I think or some, I don't know. He was like a wannabe boxer, and
I heard about this guy.
Yeah,
He would
this
just
was
go
when
around-
Deontay Wilder, I think he might have had a professional fight then. He might have been just amateur and, like, you know, prospering or, you know,
Yeah.
the next prospect or whatever. And he started calling out Deontay Wilder. Oh, you know, I could beat you in a fight. So Deontay Wilder shows up to the gym and smacks the shit out of him. Like, just, they put on the gloves and he worked this little boy. Like,
oh god, I love it,
was messed up.
man.
the height difference was enough for it to not be a professional fight. You know,
Yeah.
this is a tall dude. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
he's
know that.
huge,
He's
bro.
a massive man.
Huge. But I watched like the highlights of his last fight. I think it was against Ortiz.
He's a great fighter.
Bro, like, cause he was getting beat
Yeah.
like hard, and then just out the middle of nowhere, he just starts swinging for them fences.
he goes for the knockout every fight. I love it.
It's pretty great.
I think he's gonna be the next thing that brings people to watch.
It's
boxing.
because he's not, because like boxers appreciate, like people who love boxing appreciate the technical boxers.
yeah,
He's the complete opposite
no,
of that.
not yeah. He's yeah.
So it's gonna bring all the people who don't normally watch boxing, like, oh, I want to see someone get knocked out. That's what it's gonna do.
in a sense, it kind of waters it down because he's going for that brutality effect.
Yeah.
And as a sport, you know, you shouldn't be going for that. But you know, entertainment standpoint,
The way he was
awesome.
talking about, he was all about that brutality effect,
I
bro.
mean, you know, he might be. I don't know, but maybe he's just a savage. Who knows?
He could very well be just a savage.
You know,
Because he was talking, like he said,
like
when
you said, he's from where Teven's from, and
he's not from this. He's from Tuscaloosa, where the University of Alabama is. But
and Teven, all
Teven,
his
yes.
stories when he was younger, a little savage.
but like the way he's
Hang out,
talking
head
about it,
crack and
the way Deontay was talking about it, he was like, when I get in that ring, my mind goes to, it's me or you. I'm going home to my kids. You're not. And I'm like, that's a little.
It's crazy because it can happen.
I would
It can
hate to
happen at
fight
any
somebody
point.
like
you
that.
get punched just right in the wrong spot, done
Yep.
forever.
Especially in heavyweight too, because like they hit
Yeah.
so hard.
He's a big dude, big boy.
And he's like, when he's sitting in the interview, he doesn't look like. He looks like a skinnier dude,
Yeah.
but you just know, like, he's got that power
Yeah,
behind
he's really
it. It's
lanky,
like,
but he puts so much power behind
I'm like,
his
whoa.
punches. It's great. It's fantastic.
yeah, he's
We need
probably
to watch some highlights after this because
that dude. I mean, he can box, bro. Like,
he's a fighter for sure.
yeah, he's not a boxer. He's just a straight fighter.
That's I picked up on that growing up. Like, you know, they would label it, that's a good fighter.
Yeah,
Fighter. My dad's a boxer. He was technical and he went for more of the speed aspect.
yeah. I feel like,
That's why he's so quick to to fuck with us.
but, like, would you say like boxers focus more on like the actual point system, whereas like fighters just go for like,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in a boxing stand, that's what Mayweather did. That's
Yeah.
why the argument. You know, people say that Mayweather's like the greatest boxer of all time because, in a sense, I'm not gonna say that, but in a sense, I could see that argument because he
I mean,
understood the
you
game.
hate him, so you
No,
know.
I don't hate him.
You
I
used
just-
to.
Look, I grew up with boxing. I just, you know, I want to see a fight, damn it.
Yeah.
But I always understood, you know, he could be argued for the greatest boxer of all time because he understood the game so much to where he was undefeated. He knew exactly what he was there, how to win.
I mean, he's had 50 fights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It was undefeated.
Right.
Do you know how
undefeated.
insane that is?
Yeah.
that's horrifying.
Like,
First
it's,
of all.
But that's because he understood, okay, I have to get X amount of points and he has to miss X amount of times so he doesn't get as many points as me. I'm going to do that for 12 rounds and it's not going to phase me at
bro,
all.
he's like the smartest boxer to like.
His conditioning is
Is,
another
uh,
thing that is
insane.
like super underrated because the reason he was able to do that is because he could last all 12 rounds.
Which is
with-
why he beat Conor McGregor
and
too.
At the end of the fight, give the most electrifying, you know, speech at the end, and just continue to talk shit, and still have energy to go to the club that night.
Yep.
His conditioning was insane. Like the fact that he was able to survive 12 rounds, and just be done. Like, yeah, let's go do it again. That's how he. That's another reason how he beat all those fighters. You can condition, but if you're
You can't
not ready
condition
to
like
go 12 rounds, like that's I think that's also. I kept telling people that's why McGregor wasn't
Yeah,
going to last.
there's no way.
He's not conditioned to last that long. Most of McGregor's fights were done within the first or second round.
Yeah, if he didn't get Mayweather in that first set, he was done.
That's what I said. I was like, if not between the first, I gave him the benefit of the doubt with the third. You know what I'm saying? Gave him that, but
After that,
no.
it was done.
You can't beat the man who lasts 12 rounds damn near every fight. Like, how are you going to do that? Experience and conditioning.
You guys ready to wrap up?
Yep,
Yeah.
I think that's a good point to wrap up on. So,
It's a good one this week.
All right, boys.
Are you-
I am your mom's
you-
favorite side hoe, the Legacy.
I'm George Georgopoulos.
It's your boy, Baby Ice Cube.
and I'm OG Philly G. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Classically Urban Podcast.
Christos Anesti.
Peace out.